Good evening and welcome back to Legacy BookBar Sip and Chat. Tonight is a special edition of the Sip and Chat. Tonight I have Alana Simone with me, the author of Concrete King. Now I know people are wondering, she's normally on Friday nights at 9. What is she doing here tonight? Well, this whole COVID thing has everyone's internet completely wonky. So unfortunately, we weren't able to do Elena Simone's virtual book club. Totally not her fault. And sip and chat. So I brought Elena on to the sip and chat with us tonight. So I want you all to welcome Elena Simone with us. Elena, thank you so much for bearing with all of the technical of our internet issues we had over the weekend.
Yeah, I don't know. No, it's not. Okay, there we go. Are we good?
Yeah. You're good, and we are live.
We're talking about it, and it's happening.
It is okay. So, how was your weekend? Because I know on my side, it was super crazy. So, how was yours?
It was something. It was busy. It was busy for no reason at all, really. It was just a lot of running around because I'm having surgery next Friday. So, just trying to close up, all that leftover stuff so that once I'm down, I don't have to worry about a bunch of stuff.
Understood. Okay. All right. Well, we will definitely have you in our prayers for your surgery next week. So, for those that are just tuning in, I have Elena Simone, and she is the author of Concrete King. For those that, just a little backstory, I actually at the Baltimore Book Expo that was hosted in February this year. I was super excited to meet all of the authors that was at the Book Expo. I think I stopped at every vendor's table that was there, just letting them know that, hey, a local bookstore was in the area, and we were looking for self-published authors. Elena was so gracious enough to talk with us, with me that is, and we just decided it was a very good working relationship, and she signed on, and now her books are sold at Legacy BookBar. So without giving all of the goodies away of your book, tell me a little bit about what Concrete King is.
Well, honestly, when you look at it, especially if you read the synopsis on the back, you think it's your regular, average, urban girl meets boy, lives this lifestyle type situation. And, you think that it's going to go one way, but it's truly not that usual urban fiction type of novel. It has a lot of different facets to it. You have so many different characters, and each one of them has a different dynamic that they bring to the story itself. So it's honestly, to me, and people have said it to me, it's one of those books where you could keep it going and you could literally write a book off of each character if you wanted to. And mainly for me, it sat for so long, it just had to come out at this point. It had to. It sat for 20 years. So for me to pick it back up and just, take it from there, it was fun because it honestly gave me a chance to look back and see my growth. So that book, it's like that to me centers around some of my own personal experiences as well as those of the people I've met and come in contact with, and I just pretty much merged it all and just put together that story.
Okay. Well, you brought up an interesting fact. You said you sat on this book for about 20 years. Tell us, what made you become an author?
Well, I actually, in school, when I was in about the 9th or 10th grade, I was getting in trouble a lot, just doing stuff, just, acting out, being a normal teenager. And I had an English teacher at the time that she saw something. I wrote something just like a regular poem. It was an assignment, and I wrote it. And when she read it, she told me that she thought that this was something that I would be good at, and she wanted me to write more. So she gave me a journal, and I began to write more and more, and to showcase that work and show her the work. And then in turn, I just started writing the stories that I wrote. I actually wrote my first play when I was 11, but I didn't put too much, thought into the fact that this is something
Right.
that I could do on a
Mhm.
regular basis. But honestly, I like being able to just imagine a different place, a different way, a different time with different people. So that pretty much just once I got it and I got a hold of it, I just didn't let it go. I didn't
Got
let
it.
it go.
Okay.
Even though I didn't publish the book, until recently, I never stopped writing. So it's like it's stuff just sitting there waiting for me to either finish it or just publish
Mhm.
it.
Gotcha. Okay. Um. So you said you've been doing this for 20 years, which is a really long time with longevity in this book industry. Um. What's some things that you know now that you wish you knew 20 years ago when you got into this industry?
Mainly just to not stop writing, even if at the time it doesn't feel like the idea that you have is one that feels right at the time. Sometimes
Mhm.
I'll just write it down, and then maybe when I come back and read over, because every time that I stop and start, I always come back to read over to get the same flow, to get the same feeling that I was feeling when I wrote those words before I stopped. So it's like, for me, it's mainly don't stop writing. Even if it doesn't make sense, you can go through it and pick out what you need and, toss the rest if you have to, but not to stop, because I stopped and I probably shouldn't have. It should have been out way longer. So when I
Right.
finally did bring it out, I had to do a whole rewrite because it no longer fit with my ideas and it no longer fit with the time. So even though I could have
Gotcha.
made it, a period type thing, I didn't want to
Hmm.
do that. I didn't want to do. It's done too much.
Understood. Okay. Okay. So did you self-publish or you went a more traditional published route with your book?
I self-published. I initially tried to go the traditional way, but some of the contracts that they show you and that they send to you are just like completely ridiculous. And it even came down to with me self-publishing through Amazon, honestly, if I had it to do over again and with the knowledge that I have now, I wouldn't have done it because Amazon pretty much locks you in to their network, of sellers and things like that. And as you know, Amazon is mainly online. So
Hmm.
when it came time to want to do book signings and do things with bookstores, I couldn't get anything because they don't like buying POD, print on demand books, because once
Hmm.
they buy them, they're stuck with them. And it's like it pretty much restricts you in how you can promote and even sell your book, because most people when they're on Amazon they can put up an ad, they can pay for advertisement, but
Right.
because of the content of my book, because of some erotic type scenes in there, I
Right.
can't advertise my book. So like it's
Mm.
like so many stipulations, and then even as far as how you pricing things, you can't price it but so low because they wind up literally getting way more of your money than you do.
Mm.
So now knowing that and knowing that there is a different way, and even the manager at Barnes and Nobles helped me to let me know that Ingram is the biggest bookseller, and that's where their bookstores mostly buy their books from
Hmm.
because of the process. So now, if I had to tell anybody, if you're gonna self-publish, if Amazon, if you feel fine with that and you're fine with it, that's good for you. But I didn't. I love what I do, but I still want to be able to reap some of the benefits of what I
Understood.
do and the rewards for that. So it's
Understood.
like you can still, sell your book at low cost and, get a fan following and all of that.
Mhm.
But you also want to make sure that you're getting out there like you need to, because if I stay in this, I can only go as far as their network goes.
Right, right. I totally get it. So, previously on some other episodes we had, the authors were either had their own publishing company, so they were their own publisher and they wrote their books, or they self-published with a self-publishing company. And I think you guys all are in the same boat as far as making sure you keep all, if not as much of the royalties as you can for the hard work that you put out. But again, some people, I think with the guest before, so I think it was Indy Jones, it was, you do what you feel comfortable with doing. I know if you do self-publishing, you are responsible for your own marketing, and versus a traditional publishing company would do all of that for you. So it's just a matter of knowing what you're comfortable with, what your level of expertise is, and if you're ready to do, all, if not most of it on your own. So, it was kind of like buyer's choice. I know when I got started with Legacy BookBar, it was the reason was I couldn't find those diamonds in the rough. I couldn't find new authors, and I always had to go to Amazon. And I'm the girl that likes to go to a bookstore. To me, going to a bookstore on a Saturday is the highlight of my Saturday. And not being able to find those authors really did something to me. And then I would, if you happened to be sold in Barnes and Nobles, you were of a certain type of, I want to say, African American. So I'm like, you know what? I'm going to create the need for people like yourself and others that, are in different genres in the book industry, to give them an opportunity for them to have their book sold. So that was, one of the reasons, like we spoke earlier this year, of why I started BookBar. In this whole process, you've been in the book industry a very long time. What are some of the best resources that you have come across?
Mainly for me, it started out at the library. I actually had to do student service hours.
Okay.
And that was where I chose to do them. And I just love being able to escape, into another place and into another world. So it became that for me, and being able to use those things as references and reference tools to come up with my own ideas. And then also the biggest one, the internet. I can literally go anywhere from my bedroom and be able to see what I need to see and research what I need to research. Because I don't just write it unless I'm, creating a fantasy type series or that type of book. But for the most part, anything that I put in there as far as real things, it's usually 100% accurate, because I've looked it up, I've tweaked it, a bit, but it's still coming from a real resource. So I'm not just throwing, things out there. So
Gotcha. Okay.
I do research, and that's what is taking the second book so long, is because of that research. And then of course COVID shut down, the printing presses and everything else. So it kind of just pushed things back.
Yeah.
But definitely research. That's the biggest thing. You got to research, especially if you're doing anything that involves things that are real.
Right. Yeah, that was a common topic with all the other guests, was researching, knowing your market, knowing what you're going to write about. Because the worst thing to have is have a book that shows that the author didn't do their homework when writing in their particular genre. So I commend you for putting that work and that time in with your stories. So if you're just tuning in, I have Alana Simone here with Concrete King. I have a copy of her book here. And we are talking tonight because we unfortunately didn't have an opportunity to do her virtual book club because of technical difficulties. So I brought her on tonight so we can just, get, some feedback, have a little wine and some chit chat, so we can all, see and hear who are the authors that are with Legacy BookBar and why not. So, but never fear, if you are a fan of Legacy BookBar and you are a fan of Alana Simone and you actually are looking to join a book club, please follow www.legacybookbar.com And you can register for the book as well as purchase the book through the website, because we are actually going to redo that virtual book club on October 17th from 12 p.m. to 3 p.m. So, in this industry, I know, I've, like I said, pre-COVID, we were doing all the vending and all the pop-ups with all of the authors. What's aspiring author comes up to you, what's something that you would tell them? What's a good advice you would give them?
If I had to say anything, I would have to say don't let anyone try to change who you are as a writer. Don't compromise your art, because once you start compromising, I always say at some point compromise becomes surrender. Because if you keep bending and keep bending, eventually you'll break.
Absolutely.
And don't compromise that. If this is what you want to do and the way you write and the genre that you chose and that's what you like and that's what you're passionate about, keep that. Because once if you're blessed enough and you get out there and you get to that level, people just start to kind of fizzle out. They get kind of watered down and you don't get that same grit that you got when they first started. So I would just say don't compromise it. Stick to who you are. Write every day and, write every book like it's the first one.
Absolutely.
Don't compromise it.
Absolutely. So I know on social media I saw that you are actually getting ready to release Concrete King 2.
Yes.
Okay. Yes. So is that going to pick up?
I thought that it would be out in the summer, but like I said, with everything going on, it just pretty much shut everything down, and having to do virtual schooling, it shut everything down because you had to focus on, that more so than other stuff. But it's definitely, it will be out before the end of this year. I'm shooting for my birthday, which is November 25th. But you know how things can go. So it's like right now, I'll say by the end of the year, it should be out. I usually put out a teaser, but I usually just wait until I submit it for the copyright. That's what I did last time. Once I submitted it for the copyright, then I released, a teaser. And I do that. But I just have a lot of people that's just mad at me right now because I'm taking so long. So it's like, I'm trying, but I'm not.
No, we understand.
Anything in there. Yeah.
Okay, so is it going to pick up where part 1, Concrete King 1 ended?
Yes. Yes. It sometime has passed, but you still are pretty much in the same time frame. It's just, as anything, time has passed a little bit for the characters, but you will be caught up, on what has happened in that time. I've heard, I've had it in there with my editor, and I've sat down with a couple of people that I sent the first book to before it was published. And it's like, what are we doing now? Like, why are we taking so long? And it's definitely, I don't think anybody's going to be expecting the changes that are coming, and I definitely don't think that they're expecting. I feel like the changes, even in my writing, have gotten so much better because, like I said, that book was written 20 years ago. So in the time frame that I have now, I've done so much more writing. So I've done more things in life. So it's like I have different perspectives. But I'm excited to see what people are gonna say when it comes out, because I don't think they're gonna be expecting about 90% of what they read.
Oh my goodness!
I don't think so. I don't think so.
Okay.
My husband sits with me every night when I'm writing, and he's like, "This one, I think, is gonna surpass the first one." So for him to say that, I truly believe that it's definitely going to be a lot different. That's all I can say, because if I say too much,
don't give it away.
It's definitely going to be,
Don't give it away, because as a fan, because so for those that don't know, when the authors submit their books to the store, for review. I actually read all of the books. So I'll probably read everyone's book twice. So I'll read them for review, and then at some point they get featured for the book of the month. So when I do the virtual book clubs, I have to read it again so I can remember and be ready for the book club. Because I have a book club and you didn't read the book, right?
Right.
So it's kind of like when I read it the second time, for me, it's like reading it all over again. I'm like, dang, this happened. So for a fan, I'm excited for part 2 to come out. So don't give it away because I want to be surprised.
Yep, I'm not. I can't. Like I said, it's not even much that I can say because it can give away so much. So it's like I can't even. Yeah, I can't say anything.
So would you say that releasing part 1 after 20 years somewhat on the shelf, would you name that your biggest success for your writing career?
Yes, okay. I would, because I still remember the day that the proof came here, and when I opened the box to see those books and to see my words in those pages, it was like surreal. I literally cried because it was really surreal to see what I had put into my computer now sitting in front of me, and now other people are going to get to meet these characters that I created. And it was surreal. I still have that original copy, even though I changed a lot, that was in there. And even when I released the second edition, this past, I dropped the phone.
It's okay. We got you. We're here.
When I released the second edition, it's different. So I kept copies, of each change that I made, but mainly because of the memory of it. It was just, it won't get, I think every time that a book comes, I'll probably feel that same way, but it'll never feel like that first time.
That first copy. Gotcha. Yeah. Okay. So, of course, everyone can find your book, at least part 1, Concrete King, at legacybookbar.com. If anyone is interested in following you on social media, where can they find you?
Well, for Instagram, I have at I am Alana Simone. And then for Facebook, it's at the Alana Simone, because someone had already took the other one. So it was the Alana Simone. And then on Twitter, it's just at Alana Simone. So I have all of those, and also my website, which is www.iamalanassimone.com. And that pretty much will update, like if I'm doing any appearances, or if I'm, if I do something similar, like virtually, talking to people, things like that, it'll list all of that. And it also sells the book as well on that site. Okay. And it gives the links, of course, to all my social media. So once you get on there, you can click it. And I'm also working on relaunching my blog. So, all of that information and stuff like that, I post on all of my social media accounts, and as well as the website. Once I have it, I try and post it.
Gotcha. Okay. So, we got through a lot today. I think we legit got through all my questions. This was easy. I told you, no worries. It's just like talking to one of your girlfriends. It's cool. So again, if you're thinking, okay, so I want to get a book, I want to support. So here's one thing, right now, this whole Black Lives Matter, Black money, all these empowerment groups in and around Black-owned businesses. So here are 2 Black women that have their own business, small businesses, and we are just looking for the next fan, the next customer, the next somebody to come and show their support. So if you're looking like, well, how do I support a small business? Well, I'll tell you what. So you have Alana Simone, who has her, has her books. You can support her, and she's a Baltimore native. And you can support Legacy BookBar, which is also a Black-owned. So you have 2 Black-owned women from Baltimore with their own businesses. So literally purchasing anything from Legacy BookBar is legitimately keeping the Black business at home. So please feel free to go to my website at www.legacybookbar.com. You can purchase Concrete King today to be ready for the virtual book club October 17th. You can register, and then on that day, you can be ready for the chat, which has been so much fun. Now that, one good thing about COVID is doing these virtual book clubs have been a lot of fun with having the authors and the fans there as well. The virtual book club is open to family and friends of the author. So feel free that regardless if you bought the books from Legacy Book Bar or not, you are more than welcome to be a part of the book club. Again, more the merrier. Legacy Book Bar will be at two pop-up vending shows this weekend. We will be at White Marsh Mall Saturday from, I want to say, 11 to 7. And then I will be with authors of the Baltimore Black Book Expo at Gwen Oak Park on Sunday. So in person, you have two opportunities to be able to purchase Concrete King. So before I wrap, I always ask my guests this one question. And here is your signature question for the evening. What do you want your legacy to be?
I guess for me, it would be that I didn't waste anything that God gave me.
Okay.
For a long time, especially like I said, with it sitting there for 20 years, I just felt like every time that there was a hiccup, it was because I was not using what I was given. So if I'm now using it, I've seen so many, as I'm now using it, I see so many opportunities, so many doors opening. So for me, it would be to use up everything that he gave you to use so that you leave nothing, no stone unturned, nothing. You don't leave anything behind. You can go on and know that you did what you were supposed to do and you did well. That's it.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So we just had a guest pop in on the chat, and Kia Crowder said, living in my purpose. Yes. So
Yes.
Kia she is a mentor of mine. And when I tell you that the moves that she is making in and around Baltimore literally leaves me breathless when I see her post or she calls me about something. So she is definitely a woman that is definitely living in her purpose and probably some other people's purpose at the same time. Thank you so much, Kia, for chiming in. Elena, we are done, my dear.
It was great. It was great. It wasn't as bad as I thought. I just,
So just like talking to your girlfriends.
Yeah. It was, honestly. I'm glad to do it. I can't wait for October 17th. I haven't been a part of a book club in a long time, so I'm excited.
Well, one good thing about COVID is it's bringing a lot of the old stuff that we, when Amazon took over and it killed a lot of the smaller bookstores, it kind of stopped the book signings and the book club. But now that everyone is kind of standing still, it's giving people an opportunity to kind of revert back to the old and making the old the new now, I guess, if that makes sense.
Right.
So these virtual book clubs are super popular now, and having the authors on the call now makes it, really personable, and you can have the author on the call, and now you can actually ask the author and not the moderator the answers to the questions. Like, well, what did she think? What did she say? And I don't know why she did this. Let's ask her or him. So I really love having the authors on the call. So I cannot wait. And we will see you October 17th.
That's great. I'm excited. I can't wait. Hopefully I won't be in any pain at that point, but either way, I will be there.
Okay. Well, I will definitely call and check on you. Make sure you're still doing okay.
I appreciate it. Absolutely. And thank you again for the opportunity.
Absolutely. Thank you so much. Thank you for joining.
No problem.
All right. Have a good one.
You too. Bye-bye.
Bye. So you just heard me talk with Alana Simone, Baltimore native of Legacy BookBar signed author, and her book of Concrete King. You can purchase that at www.legacybookbar.com. Earlier in the broadcast, I did tell you that you are able to actually purchase her book in person. I will be at 2 vending opportunities. I will be at White Marsh Mall from 11 a.m. to 7. I will be at Gwen Oak Park on Sunday. I want to say the hours are 12 p.m. to 3 p.m. Flyers are posted on my Instagram and Facebook pages. So if you're willing to want to come out, of course, you will be COVID safe, and you want to come purchase those books, or a book for your husband, a book for your daughter or son or nephew, please feel free to visit my website. Shipping, as long as the post office is still open, Menina/Legacy BookBar is still sending out books. Sale orders are going out at this point almost daily, which is a good thing. So I wanted to talk to you guys, because I know a couple of weeks ago I had Indy Jones on, and she was my author that quite a few of her books were on. She was an author. She did paranormal, sci-fi, fantasy genres. And I know in the call, she stated that she was going to send some fan art my way. So people that purchased her book would be able to get a 4x6 or 8x10 of the fan art from some of her books. Well, guess what? She was able to bring me those fan arts, and I'm going to show a few of them to you in a few seconds. So it's October 1st. October 1st is for those that love Halloween. This is your season. So starting October 1st, we have Boo For You shop codes that are listed on my website. So if you want to purchase a book for paranormal, sci-fi, horror, fantasy, use those shop codes and you can purchase those books today or throughout the rest of the month. But those shop codes will be listed all month. So make sure you stop in. It's good gifts for the holidays that are coming up. So if you want to get at that head start, you can purchase today. So are we ready to see some of that fan art? Oh, I love it. I hope you can see. I tried. Hopefully the glare is not there. But this is some of the fan art from the Death and Destiny series. So if you purchased all 3 books of Death and Destiny series, you will get this 8x10 fan art with you. Also, with that, we have this. Also from the Death and Destiny series. So if you purchase those 3 books, you will get one of these 2 fan art copies. Now, I didn't pull out all of them. Just wanted to give you an idea of some of the fan art that Indy Jones supplied. So those are going out on all October orders. So again, you can purchase it online for those shop codes and it'll be mailed to you, or you can see me and Legacy BookBar in and around Baltimore, and you can purchase on site, and those fan arts will be with all of the books. So I told you October 17th, we are redoing Concrete King, which I have here. We are doing that for a special edition book club. But also October 24th is our next virtual book club. And I always typically do them about the 4th Saturday of the month. So what we were scheduled to do is Gerald Johnson's book of Alabama Sunrise. So if you are a family and friends of Gerald Johnson and you're going to share this broadcast, we have October 17th book club. We have October 24th book club. So you want to make sure that you get these books in time for the virtual book club. Now, as you know, Menina gets books, bi-weekly, almost every day. So when I set the motion for October 24th with Alabama Sunrise, Legacy BookBar had no books for horror. How sway? How did I even let that happen? Well, I worked with Mocha Memoirs Press, and I'm able to get 6 of their books sold into Legacy BookBar, which then I got 6 titles, and they are all under horror. So hooray, and thank you so much to Mocha Memoirs Press. Well, for all of my fans out there that love a good horror story, I said, well, I have to give my fans of horror an opportunity to have a book club. And what better way to do it in October, right before Halloween? So as you know, Halloween this year is on a Saturday. So people might be doing a lot of indoor family activities, and we don't want to mess with that because I myself am a mother of 3, and I also will be having some indoor COVID safe parties for my kids. So that means October 24th is going to be a very busy day because guess what? Legacy Book Bar is having another virtual book club. But this time it's going to be at nighttime to give us that good Halloween feel. So we are going to do Dead Heat with Ren Thompson. She also will be on the virtual book club. So every time you come to one of the virtual book clubs, we always have the authors, or I always do my best to make sure that the authors are present for the call so you can ask those burning questions to the authors. So keep in mind, all of these books are on the website. You can go to www.legacybookbar.com. You can purchase those books. And remember, Dead Heat is part of horror. So you can get 10% off with the Boo For You shop code for Halloween. So make sure you use those shop codes when you purchase paranormal, horror, sci-fi, or fantasy. So I also want to give you an opportunity because we, Legacy Book Bar, received so many new books this week, or since the last time we spoke. And I want to give you guys an opportunity to see some of the new books that we have on stock. So just bear with me. I'm going to kind of show you what I have, okay? So I have Chocolate in the City 2. This is the sequel to Chocolate in the City 1 that is also on the website by Donna Michelle Ramos. So you can get books 1 and 2 on the website. This just came in. It's listed on the website, or will be listed at least by the weekend if it's not already there now. So make sure you go look for that if you love a good romance. So for those that are just tuning in, or has no idea what Legacy Book Bar is, or have no idea who I am, I'll tell you a little bit about myself and about Legacy Book Bar as I'm showing you some of our new inventory. So for those that are just tuning in, my name is Menina, and I own legacybookbar.com. Legacybookbar.com is an online bookstore that caters, but not exclusive, to self-published authors, self-published Black authors, let me clarify. So many of us do not have an opportunity to get into major stores, major publishing companies, and it's a shame because there's so much talent out here that everyone deserves an opportunity to have their voices heard or their stories read. So if you are an avid reader like myself and you're looking for the next author, the next genre, visit my website at legacybookbar.com and see the latest and greatest in children's and sci-fi and fantasy and horror and fiction, nonfiction. We have so many genres out there, and there are so many of us. So share with your family, share with your friends. Also, if you are an author yourself and you're self-published or traditional, again, we're not exclusive, and you're just looking for another outlet or another opportunity for your books to be visible, please feel free to submit an author form on legacybookbar.com, and you and I can talk. So remember, share this broadcast tonight, guys, okay? So everyone knows that, new election is coming, and our Democratic nominee, Kamala Harris, is the VP nominee with Vice President Joe Biden. What I didn't know as I was looking for some new books to have for my children's was Kamala Harris and her mom actually wrote a book together. So they actually wrote a children's book. If you can see it here, Kamala and Maya's Big Idea. This is on my website. So if you want to get this for your niece, your daughter, feel free to either see me at one of the pop-ups, see me on the website. Check that book out. We have a very good selection for children's, for boys and for girls. So, you want to make sure our brown babies have the knowledge, because knowledge, as you know, is power. Of course, if you were like me and was completely heartbroken with the passing of Chadwick Boseman, I decided to make sure that I had in stock quite a few of the Black Panther Little Golden books. So if your niece, nephew, son, brother is a Marvel fan like my kids are, like I am and my husband, and you want to get a Marvel book for them, we have Black Panther in stock. So again, you can purchase all of these on the website or at any of the pop-up vendings I'm having this weekend. And I also believe, if I'm not mistaken, I do believe I'm also back at the mall, White Marsh Mall. So thank you so much. Nancy Collins said, I'm so thankful that you are out there. Thank you so much. I appreciate you chiming in. Please feel free to share the broadcast if you haven't done so already. Thank you so much. So one of the authors that is signed with Legacy BookBar, her name is Serendipity, and she has 2 books for our romance / erotica section. Was it Ember's Flame and Rocking Cheyenne? So Miss Serendipity has a daughter, and her daughter asked her, like, Mom, what, I see all the jobs that guys can do, but what do girls do? What can I be when I grow up? So Serendipity, knowing the women that she knows, was kind of puzzled that her daughter didn't know or had to ask. So after she ran down her list of family members and list of friends and realized that the women in her circle were very diverse and very, eccentric in jobs that girls typically wouldn't have. So they decided to write a book together, and we have What Jobs Can Girls Do? So if you have a little girl, you have a daughter, a niece, a cousin, a neighbor, and she's questioning, here's a good book for her. So make sure you can cop this on the website or at any of the pop-ups. I have Sherelle Gaston. I apologize if I pronounced that last name wrong. I have a hardback version of Jesus is My Best Friend. Met this author on social media. She has this book in hardback and in paperback, and she is the only author with Legacy BookBar that her books come in English and in Spanish. So if you know anyone that is bilingual, that is interested in a kid's book, please direct them to legacybookbar.com and they can get Jesus is My Best Friend. So let's see. Again, legacybookbar.com has incoming books, new books, bestsellers, urban fiction, romance, children's, we are getting it all. So again, feel free. I'm going to keep saying it. Please feel free to share the broadcast. You can purchase something, if you're a fan of horror, don't forget those shop codes are listed. Boo for you. They'll be listed. If it's not there tonight, it will be listed by the weekend. So just make sure you stay tuned and follow Legacy BookBar on all 3 social media sites, Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. So I have the 716 Love and Consequences, author A.A. Lewis. Arthur Lewis was on the broadcast a few weeks ago. This is our #1 seller for our urban fiction. It's a 3-book series. You can purchase that series today or over the weekend. We are actually going to go back a little bit to our paranormal, sci-fi, and horror romance. So remember, we have tons of books right now. I want to say close to 10, if not over 10 books in those particular genres. So remember, those shop codes are there for you. 10% off your order when you purchase a book in any of those genres for Halloween. So we have Black Magic Women. This is a short story of horror, also published by Mocha Memoirs Press. So you want to make sure you get that. Back to Indie Jones. I have Dragon, Lore, and Love. You can get this one today as well. Back to Mocha Memoirs Press. I have Wild Sage. This is also a collection of Western short story horror, all wrapped into one. So this one is going to definitely be a crowd pleaser because it's a little bit different. It's a little edgy and it gives you that horror feel. So you're going to want to make sure you get this. We talked about 2 weeks ago, we talked with Indie Jones again with A Queen's Pride. and we did Crimson Hunter a month or so ago. That was our virtual book club, I want to say, for August. So we have so much to share with you, with the stories that we have, with the authors that we have. I just want to say thank you so much to family and friends that have supported, to new friends that Legacy will meet. We are here for you. You know, if you are like me and you are an avid reader, this is why we're here. I was raised to not, books was not a punishment. So you wanted to ground me and, oh, we'll go to your room, read a book. That was not a punishment. A punishment was, you can't read a book today because I want you to clean your room or run with me to this store. That was a punishment. And I want to bring back reading for fun, reading for knowledge, because the more you read, the more you learn. And the more you learn, the more you know. So we just want to bring that back to the communities, especially our brown communities. Smaller independent bookstores are a necessity for growth, maturity, knowledge. It's just as important as your rec center, because everyone can play and hoop and holler, but reading to understand your contracts, reading to understand your resume, reading to understand a job application or your credit report. You get that by reading. And people might say, well, how is reading romance? It doesn't matter. You can read whatever you want to read. The only thing is, just read. That's what we want to bring to people here at Legacy Book Bar, that reading is absolutely fundamental to this new normal and this new world and this new environment that we are going into. So thank you so much for tuning in. Again, I will end with, my name is Manina, and I am the owner of legacybookbar.com. We cater to self-published Black authors, but not exclusive to self-published. So if you know someone that is traditionally published or a traditionally publishing company and you are interested in another avenue to have your book sold, please feel free to email me at either legacybookbar.com. What's my email address? I drew a blank. I'm so sorry. It's info at legacybookbar.com and legacybookbar@gmail.com. So please feel free to reach out to me via email, through my website. We are here for you. Now, I always end the segment with, what do you want your legacy to be? And so far, I have gotten some really good responses from my authors. So since I'm here tonight by myself, I think I will actually answer that question. What do you want your legacy to be? Actually, everything that I am doing right now is for my legacy. I am of a certain age that I want to see my company's name on my pay stub. I decided that if you're going to do that, you have to do something that you love. And what's the one thing outside of my husband and my kids and my family? What's the one thing that you love? What are you passionate about? I am passionate about books. I am passionate about reading. Now I'm passionate about making sure that my friends, my neighbors, my family, the next person has the next great book. So that is why I created Legacy Book Bar. I work, every time I'm at a pop-up, I have my daughter with me. She's 18. And having her watch me grind and hustle and build a business from the ground up, she is why I do what I do. Watching my 6-year-old son, Mommy, are you still on the laptop? I'm working because this is for you. I'm not here to get rich, but I am here for my kids to see that hard work, dedication can and will take you a long way. And then when it is officially my time to retire, what will they have? They will have a legacy, and that is for them. So thank you so much for joining in on our special edition of Legacy Book Bar Sip and Chat. You can find me on all 3 social medias at Legacy Book Bar and on Twitter at LBookBar. You can find me on You can email me. I'm always here. I'm always looking for the next great book. Enjoy. You guys have a great night. And remember, we'll be back tomorrow night with Michelle Warren, author of Erotica. That is going to be a very spicy sip and chat. So remember to join back here tomorrow night. Enjoy, and you guys have a nice night.